Forgot to unmute. Let me just dip it down. And... I forgot dropping it down doesn't drop it down on my end. Oh well. And I am also unable to hear much over the game, hear the music over the game either, by the way. So, yeah, that's something to keep in mind. There we go. That's much better. Hi everyone, Mako12 here, and yes, I am using my old Blue Yeti again because I didn't want to go ahead and lug my entire XLR setup across town. Anyway, let me just see. Can I actually do this? Does it actually work? Let me see if this button works. Yes, it does. Check this shitpost. Yes, it does. Zoom. Of course it does. And... of course... What? Anyway, let's get into the game. Yes, I was still in G pose, but that's not exactly why I was still in there. I'm dipping down I'm dipping down the BGM a little bit more. And I'm gonna be dropping this one down as well. There. That's so it doesn't hurt my ears much. Anyway, the proud and pointy-eared. The proud and the pointy-eared. Seer is a man at the end of his tether. I'm gonna be just doing this final Heavensward case. I'm quickly grabbing a drink though, so BRB. Although, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and mute up and just do this. And I'm back. I've got the drink. Seer is a man at the end of his tether. Of course he is. He's going through the insanity that is Manderville. We need to speak, Kinesi. I've been scouring the archives for any information regarding temporal magic since we last spoke, and the results have been rather troubling, to say the least. As you may or may not be aware, ancient Allag is portrayed in the Enchiridion as a cautionary tale, a great empire brought low by its vanity and hubris. However, there are certain apocryphal texts in which the Allagons are cast in a more sympathetic light, if not outright exalted. 'Twas in these texts... It was in these texts that I found references to temporal magics once wielded by Allagon mages. Said magics could be used to halt or even reverse the temporal state of a given object. If these accounts are to be believed, and if Gigi's abilities and these magics are one and the same, then it may well be possible for him to turn back the hands of time for the Grand Sirs, much as he restored the Duke's priceless vase. That being said, there's no telling how this will work with regards to a living Cretan being. However, consider, if you will, that the vase was filled with water when shattered. Even if the vessel were restored, what would become of its former contents? Would it be filled with water as before? The very same, every drop returned, or would it be different water, or would the water once split be forever lost? Speak of the soul, my friend. I speak of the soul, my friend. Even as if one could use these magics to restore the dead to life, would they be as they were before, with all the same thoughts and memories and feelings? The Grand Sirs are convinced that they can regain their lost youth, and mayhap they can. But the dead who have entered into Halona's halls cannot return. They cannot. Yet Gigi is nevertheless resolved to try and resurrect Archmagus Quan. Speaking of which, according to some Charlian texts in the archives, Archmagus Quan was an accomplished scholar known for his study of ancient Alagon magics. Further evidence that Gigi's abilities are likely derived from ancient traditions, I suppose. But more importantly, I learned the location of the Archmagus' former residence. Mayhap we could find something of interest there. Something which could help us to persuade Gigi to change his course. Would you mind I had a mind to summon Inspector Hildebrand and make the journey there together. Would you be willing to join us? Excellent. Then let us be about our business. I saw you, heretic! I beg your pardon. Are you accusing me of being a heretic? Yes, you, Inquisitor Seer. I saw you sneak into the archives and seek out the forbidden tomes. I saw the mad light in your eyes as you partook of their forbidden knowledge. For the love of... I did all that for my investigation. Ha! You admit your crimes. That you did secretly, without permission, in blatant contravention of our rules, read the forbidden tomes, and by virtue of the office but it's a supreme sacred tribunal of the inquisitory doctrine. You stupid... Oh, hi! You stupid ignorant. Are you all so desperate to keep your goddamn jobs you go around accusing all the world and his wife of heresy? Is that what we've been reduced to? I'm sick and tired of looking for heretics in every bloody shadow of looking and trying to guess the secret sins of everyone I meet. It's stupid and pointless, and we're better than that, damn it. We're better than that. If you will not surrender yourself, then I have no choice. No, to inform my superiors. Yeah, you better run. That's all you're good for. The Inquisition. The Inquisition acts in the Spanish way. Well, that all came tumbling out, didn't it? I suppose there's no point in trying to convince myself I have no personal investment in this matter. Or that I still have a professional one. Somewhere along the way I stopped looking for the guilty and started looking for the truth, perhaps? And a way to help those in need. But there's no place for people like that in the Inquisition, is there? And it's only a matter of time before that stuttering fool comes back with an armed guard. Let us depart for Idleshire at once. We need to find the inspector. Anyway, we are on this is the final case of the Hildebrand Adventures for Heavenswood. Well, that's something. There's Nacha Makaraka and Julian. Are you looking for the inspector? He went off on his lonesome. God's damn it, Hildy, I raised you to have better sense than this. 'Twould seem we arrived too late. Inspector Hildebrand has already gone off on his own to confront the Grand Sirs. They came back briefly to trade jingly shine for some supplies and whatnot, you see, and the gobby's ear caught them trading tongue flaps about killing dragons in the Forelands. When the inspector learned about it later, he said he had to get after them right away and backtake Gigi. He said he had a duty, not as an inspector, but as a father. Bugger that, he's got no obligations to a bloody mammoth. Especially one that chose to leave of his own free will, as I recall. I swear I turned my back on the boy for one bleeding second and he loses his goddamn mind. I'm afraid he might try to do something reckless. Don't you think we should try and find him to offer some hand-lending? I'm rather more concerned about what will happen if the Grand Sirs attack. Or worse, kill any of Hraesvelgur's brood. But first things first, I suppose. Knazy, would you be so kind as to assist Mistress Nashu and Julian in their search for the inspector? I'll pay a visit to Archmage Quan's abandoned abode in the meantime. And before you think to refuse, know that you do not need to fear for my safety. Let's just say that our singular experiences together have inured me to the harsh realities of, well, reality. Could it be the scrawny little shites finally found his spine? Let's start by heading to Tailfeather. I reckon the inspector probably went there first to ask after the Grand Sirs. So if we do the same, we're sure to catch up with him eventually. Tailfeather. Hildy practically grew up in the saddle. Gave him his firm thighs and buttocks, it did. Right then, I say we split up and make inquiries separately. If you learn anything about the Inspector or the Grand Sirs or Gigi, come and tell me. Louis Sonnet. The Ashgardians with the mammoth. They were here, proclaiming to all and sundry that they were going to slay the greatest dragon of them all. The gods only know if the naive fools were serious. Oh no. Oh no. Talk to Remiclin. Frey dragon slayers and a mammoth, eh? You call a mummer. I'd call you a mummer if I hadn't seen them come through earlier, boasting about how they were off to kill the biggest one yet. Oh no. Either the Grand Sirs are toast, or they're about to get hit with the wrath of the entire brood. Oh, those daft sods. They were Franix trying. Not quite sure what their intentions were, but they were awfully confident, that much I recall. Nashu Makaraka. It's no use. Take this. I see, so the Grand Sirs were headed for Annex Shrine. And my dear boy wasn't far behind him either. And what are we waiting for? Let's go, let's go! Julian, get your skillet. For you bloody bugger guiders. Found Orland. Julian, did Hildy do this? Usually he ends up on the receiving end. Oh, I found one of the Grand Sirs! The poor unfortunate soul who bears a striking resemblance to Orland is quite firmly embedded in the earth. Oh, would you look at that? The inspector sure gave him what for? It may be, but where did the other two get to? Not to mention the mammoth. Why don't we pull around and ask? Though, having said that, looks easier said than done. Oh, how silly of me. I'm sure you got more than enough strength to yank him free, right, Canady? Do I get a cutscene? Do I get to be able to yoink? It is Hildy. Well, I'll be. He's wearing some sort of magic mask that makes him look just like the inspector. Just like the man of 1,000 faces back in Oda. No, that's Hildebrand, all right. There's no fool in the mother's eyes. I say, what trouble has my beloved son gotten himself into this time? Oh, there's Godbert and Seer. Why, hello, Lord Godbert and Inspector Seer. How did you two end up traveling together? It's inquisitive, blind fortune, you might say. I was too far from Tailfeather when night began to fall. But unfortunately, Lord Godbert chanced to find me wandering in the wilderness. Lord Edmund told me all about this recent trouble with the Grand Sirs, as well as Hildy's investigation. And a father cannot help but take an interest in his son's affairs, can he? As for me, I was eager to share with you my latest findings, namely, Archmage Quan's research notes. I haven't slept like that since I was buried in the Lichshut. Well, well, I must confess no small measure of embarrassment to be found in such a state, having been so unceremoniously disposed of by the Grand Sirs. But ignominy notwithstanding, I am most grateful for your succor, and pleasantly surprised to be reunited with you all. This wouldn't have happened if you had waited for us instead of... Wait, why the hell are you still wearing that rubbish? An impenetrable disguise is essential when consorting with the criminal elements. Alas, it would seem the Grand Sirs have grown more perceptive in their newfound youth. Wait, what? Wait, do you mean they've already regained their youth? What about Gigi? Did you see him? Was he behaving strangely? Now that you mention it, his warm, soulful eyes were rather more pointy than I remember. By the Fury, not pointy. According to Archmage Quan's notes, that's a sign Gigi's using too much magic. If he carries on like this, his ether will be expended and he'll end up not more than an empty husk. This is terrible news. We must catch up the Grand Sirs at once. Do you know where they were headed? All I heard was that they were keen to slay dragons. They were bound for the Churning Mists, a place called Zenith, to kill a great worm named Nidhogg. Actually, I killed him. Really? That happened? Huh. I meant the other one, Hraesvelgr. Hraesvelgr! Fury take me. What could they possibly hope to achieve? Kick off another Dragon Song war, that's what. At least found the inspector, right? Finally, after finally achieving peace, after a thousand years of war, they want to kill Hraesvelgr. It just doesn't make any sense. Looks well enough, but I wonder. Watching Hildy learn and grow as a father reminds me of my own trials and tribulations. If I could turn back time. Hildebrand wishes to entreat your aid in a matter of grave import. I, Hildebrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, do hereby ask you all to aid me in rescuing my son and putting a stop to the Grand Sir's machinations. You know, there's really no need for all that. We came here because we wanted to help. I, Nashu, faithful assistant, maker of explosive extraordinaire, do hereby present to you this fresh change of clothing. Capital! I knew I could count on you, Nashu. I shall change en route. Come, friends, to Zenith and to Gigi. Churning Mists, Zenith. There we go. And because we are going into a... Let's check. Hildebrand is suited up. Let's also suit up. Nashu? His disguises may be amazing, but nothing beats the classic Inspector look. To think that I stand in the heart of Dravanian territory. Me, how long ago was I scouring the streets for heretics? Spending too much time at this high altitude can't be good for my skin. I say, what brilliant craftsmanship. How did they manage? Make ready, my friend. My friends, the final battle of the Grand Sirs is at hand. It would seem my wounds were more serious than I thought. I fear I am in no condition to confront our foes, but there's but one thing that could restore me to my former indomitable self. Don't you worry, I got some salamander oil right here. Shall Mummy give her baby boy a massage? Oh, Winter's let me have it. Mother dearest. I would not impose upon you, not one my ever-loyal associate, as he stands ready to minister to my muscles. Don't be embarrassed, let Mummy take care of little Hildy's hurts. My dear wife, I know you mean well, but let Knazy handle it. I can personally testify to the healing talents of strong yet tender fingers. Oh, I guess this is related to a quest. I'm gonna check real quick, because I feel like that dialogue would be different. Let's see. If I could turn back time. Ah. It requires the... Yep, it requires the side quest, The Monster of Bronze Lake, to be completed. Which I did actually complete. So... let us brook no further delay. Come, my friend. All right. Here you go. How it soothes my aches and pains. They're quickly kneaded into my flesh. Knead as you've never kneaded before. All right, come on. Furious needing, I applaud your enthusiasm, but mayhap I urge you to excessive force. Nay, you were in the right. Already the gentle warmth begins to spread throughout my body. The fires of righteousness burn anew in my breast. Hold, my son. Though your passion is renewed, you may yet be spurred to great feats of Mandervillian strength. Derived from the purest essence of salamanders, the ancient legacy of House Manderville, Salamanderville. To you, my beloved son, now become a proud father. Salamanderville, could it be that the legends were true? Your muscles shall shine with the brilliance of 1,000 suns. No mortal man will have the power to do you harm. Verily it is so, for by its grace did I once weather the slings and arrows of a bandit horde, and bring my hammer of justice to bear upon their wicked heads. The time has come. Knazy, take this oil help Hildy become the Manderville man he was meant to be. He's a Manderville man, doing whatever a Manderville can, from the peaks of Curfus to Fanalan. Manderville man. Once more, we're feeling. Oh, this is a long timer. I'm a Manderville man. And a Salamanderville is my word. I have never felt so alive. Such vibrant colors, such intense sounds, such fragrant smells. Mother, father, Knazy, 'twas your oils and your strong yet tender fingers which opened my eyes to the glory of creation. I am a gentleman inspector reborn. Onward to zenith, no matter the laws of nature they pervert or the limits they break. The Grand Sirs can do naught to stop me. Mm-hmm. Orland. Oh. Oh. Grand Sirs, I have come for my son. Oh, must we do this now? We have a dragon to slay. There's no need for any of this. The war is over. But not for long. The worm's death will give rise to a new era of fire and blood, until we, having consumed his eyes, will use our new powers to win untold glory on the battlefield. Our legends will echo in eternity. You would doom countless innocents for glory? No, I won't allow it over my dead body. Far be it from us to deny you, then. This is the end for you. The ultimate end. Hildebrand, You've got this. Salamanderville just barely took effect, and they're just using a full rotation against him before he can even act once. Hildebrand? GG! That's it. Congratulations. You have just gotten yourself a first-class ticket to Halone's hallowed halls. Have faith, my love. He is our son. I forgot the Mandervilles were basically indestructible. Gigi, my beautiful boy, pray do not look at me with such pointy eyes. Let Papa Hildy go take you home to our gazebo. Stop calling me that. My name is Vivi. Vivi, I remember everything. My powers, my purpose. My grandpapa Quan. I made them young again, but it's not enough. I need more. More. I need the worm's eyes, and then I can finally bring him back. I'm sorry, Gigi, but no, you cannot. Grandpapa Quan is gone. He's right, Gigi. Mayhap you could restore his corporeal form and breathe life into it. But his soul, what made him your grandpapa, is forever beyond your reach. That's not true. I can restore anything to its ideal form, to the way it should be. Even Grandpapa Quan, even you, Papa Hildy. Please, Gigi, no. You have to stop. Please, Gigi, you have to stop. If you keep using your power, you'll die. He is already in his ideal form. I don't understand. Your clothes are still dirty and tattered. As they should be, Gigi, for my every moment is as the gods intended. Every day I live life to the fullest. Every day I enjoy grand adventures. I found your grandpapa's research notes. What he gave you wasn't the power to make things the way they were. He gave you the power to change the world, to make things the way you yourself believe they should be. That's why your magics have no effect on the inspector. Because you know in your heart that this battered and bruised form of his is in his own way. In its own way, right. My thoughts exactly, Inquisitor Seer. And it is for this self-same reason that you were unable to make Grandmaster Quan younger. In your heart, you knew that there was naught that needed to be changed. Your beloved grandpapa was exactly as he should be. Your every day was to be treasured and worthy of celebration. Then what about the grandsires? Why was I able to make them young again? As you truly knew them before, all you truly knew of them were the stories they told. Wondrous tales of daring do by heroes in the prime of their lives. No wonder you were able to envision them as such. It was all they ever talked about, when they were young and free and full of fire. At first, Archmagus Quan didn't understand the true nature of your abilities. He struggled to deduce why you could not make him younger as he originally intended. Eventually, he realized that your fond memories of him were preventing you from conceiving him as anything other but an elderly creator, and that the only way to achieve this goal would be to take them from you. But you were all he had left in the world. No longer a mere mammoth, but a friend, family, his only family, his grandson. He couldn't bear to lose you, so he renounced his quest for immortality. But I still lost my memories in the end. He was afraid of leaving you all alone in the world, afraid that others would attempt to take advantage of you and your magics. So before he died, he decided to take your memories from you after all, to protect you. But despite his best efforts, something remained. Something stronger and more powerful and more resilient than anything Archmagus Quan ever dared dream. You were never broken, Gigi. You were never abandoned. All he wanted was to set you free. Free? Free to do what? Whatever you like, Gigi. That was his final gift to you. A new life, a story all your own. It's all been very, very touching, but we're not getting any younger. Well, you aren't at any rate. We have suffered your meddling long enough. I had intended to use this trap to kill the worm, but since you are so perfectly positioned... Oh, God damn it. Vivi, now! Energy restored. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Clock up. I am Vivi, grandson of Archimagus Quan and Gigi, son of Hildebrand Helidor Maximilian Manderville, and this is my story. Did he just rewind the clock? Oh my. That's the issue. Gigi's only ever seen me in this form, so he can't restore me. Gigi? Joke's on you. Oh! Oh! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sir, you know duty calls. Do I get warped? Oh, yep, they got bound. And of course, Godbert is doing his exercises. Julian is still pissed. It's like it never happened. With the last of his strength, he turned back the hands of time. Not just for the pillars, but for us all. He made us all as we once were. As we were meant to be. All about that, after all that gallivanting about it, I get bugger all. What about my misspent youth? I was not meant to be this bloody old. Such a fine day. Never have I squatted with such perfect form. I may well have reached my physical peak. Wow. Ah, what rot. Act your age, you daft sod. You look foolish. You should be grateful Gigi saw what you had become and gave you a second chance. That was our second chance. To relive our glory days. It was all rather silly though, wasn't it? Maybe Quan had the right of it. Maybe it's not so bad growing old. I was a coward when I was young. But now that I'm old, I'm not afraid to say things like, I love you, Doris. Oh! You're a blind bloody fool, Gonspot. I say, am I dead again? Quite alive, Inspector. Along with everybody else, thanks to Gigi. The Grand Sirs are also in our custody. Ha ha ha, that's my boy. Where is the little tyke, anyway? I hate... Gigi embarked on a grand new adventure. He is no longer with us. I see. If that's what he wanted, then I could not be happier for him. I'm sure Archmagus Quan would feel the same way. What do we do now, Inspector? It's not obvious, Nashu. The wide, wide world beckons to us, with the promise of mastery and wonder. We shall resume our never-ending quest for cases perplexing and profound, and perhaps one day we shall meet young Gigi again. I hate to admit it, but this whole mess got me thinking that maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I really did have a grandson. You did right by Gigi, Hildy. Your father and I can see that. We're proud of the man you've become. And I am proud of you too, Mother. Finally coming to terms with the ephemeral nature of physical beauty and allowing yourself to age gracefully. Well, you just pissed her off. Look. Oh, music's fading out. Oh. Wait. Oh no. Gracefully, was it? I fear we may have had a phone to communicate. There he goes again. Wait for me, Inspector. Wait. Hark! What stands curious light I spy in the far eastern skies, and this oh so familiar scent which fills my nostrils. Do I smell a case? Worry not for me, my friends, for wherever the wronged want for succor, I, Hildebrand, shall be there. Till we meet. Till we meet again. I bumped the cable again. Honestly, that keeps happening to me. I say, you do know that as long as the core remains intact, little Gigi is not actually dead. That's right, so dry your tears, boy. There's no need for all this moping about. He's actually fallen into a dormant state because he used up all his ether. His core will gradually recharge as it draws upon the ambient ether, and in time he will awaken from his torpor. I shall tend to the child for now. As for these three, I should be glad to take them back to Ishgard in your stead. A most generous offer, my lord, but hardly necessary. After all, 'tis my duty to bring them to justice. Oh yes, it was my duty. After everything I said to that young Inquisitor, I can't go back to Ishgard. They'll toss me in a jail and throw away the key if they don't kill me outright. So go to Idleshire and live in Hildy's gazebo. Someone ought to look after it while he's away, no? That doesn't sound all that bad, actually. Full glad am I to accept your offer. I suppose there's nothing for it but to wait until he comes back down. 'Twas a most graceful strike, my love. You haven't lost your touch. Ba-da-da-da-dum. Ba-da-da-da-da-dum. Hildebrand will return. In Stormblood. From the peaks of... I suppose there's nothing for it but to leave the Grand Sirs to Godbert, and for me to see to Inspector Hildebrand's gazebo. I'd like to thank you for everything you've done. If you find yourself in Idleshire, come and see me. There are a few arrangements that I need to make, but I can't imagine that will take that long for me to settle in. Thank you, my friend. Until we meet again. It's weird to see... Where's that rock that Hildebrand was launched into? See, it was past here. There's a saw. I think that's the rock that Hildebrand flew through. And no indicator that Hildebrand actually was launched through there. So to Idleshire we go. Looking back on the course I've run, it's hard not to think I was the man I was and feel ashamed. Before I took on this case, I'd only left the capital a handful of times. The rubbish I believed, the facts I considered unassailable. Fury take me, what a fool I was. If I hadn't met you, and the inspector, and Gigi, I would have never realized how much I had come to hate my job. Nor would I have discovered how much more satisfying it is to seek out the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. One might say that getting labeled a heretic and having to flee Ishgard is the best thing that could have happened to me. After all, now I am free to start a new life here in Idleshire as a consulting inspector. Uh-oh. Consulting inspector? Oh no. Not again. Not the same joke again. But enough of that. There's someone I would like you to meet. Who is it? One moment, I'm trying to figure out a good place for the tracker. Gigi! Lord Godward made some modifications. As you can see, his smaller size should allow him to absorb ether more effectively over time. We thought that if he were to travel with you and share in your grand adventures, that maybe it would hasten his reawakening. Oh, I get a Gigi minion. Thank you, my friend, and I do hope our paths cross again someday. May the Fury bless you and keep you. And you as well, Seer. You as well. Cast the cast, here we go. Hildebrand Manderville. Ashumakaraka. Sam. Godbert Manderville. Julian Manderville. The Grand Sirs. Orland Doris. He's dressed up. Edmund de Fortin. Gigi. Yeah, it should stay on there. Goblins and more goblins. Hildebrand will return? Of course he will! He is a Manderville man. It is what you are. That is what you are. Let's activate Gigi. Let's resort my inventory again because that got jumbled somehow. Now, what sort of content shall we do now? Because I don't feel like actually, with my current setup, doing the MSQ. Let me check what the server's up, what they're doing at the... Let's see, twitch.tv/ fish. Shitpost. Let me download the... Let me actually do this real quick. Strongest... Wow, they actually shared a whole stream kit, but I didn't have an option to use. I didn't have it set up so I could use it. Oh, they're talking... They're doing FanFest stuff. Should I do Alexander raids? Actually, let's... You know what? Let's do some Shadowbringers content. Why not? Norvrant the Crystarium. Let's just unlock some quests real quick, see what happens. Let's talk to the anxious Crystarium guard. In the middle of nowhere. Oh, that unlocks Eden. That's important reading, but it's not required reading yet. Ah, Knezi, have you seen Reed? She's been looking for you. No, I haven't. Wait here, I'll go and get her. I'll go ahead and update my stream title. There you are! The truth is, I need your help. Truth is, I need your help. Now hold on, I haven't even told you what it is yet. After you defeated Emmett Selk, I sensed a strange concentration of light somewhere far to the south. Far to the south. In the empty, the lands that were once swallowed by the flood. I can't tell you what it is, but we have to find out. For all we know, it might even be another Light Warden. But whatever it may be, I don't intend to stand by and watch. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Fankrit, Urianger, and I have a few theories on what we plan to test once we find whatever's causing this. The three of us were reluctant to ask for your help, considering everything that you've been through. The thing is, you're the only one who can defeat a Light Warden without becoming one yourself, so we have no choice. While we don't want to jump to conclusions, it would be a good idea to have you there, just in case. So will you come with us? Note, this is during the... I wouldn't have it any other way. This is during Shadowbringer, so... the Aura version of Kinesi here is already wrong. Kinesi, this means a lot. First of all, let's head to Derek and Almarang. Fankred and Urianger should have everything ready by now. Fankred and Urianger. To the inn at Journey's Head. Lizard. Oh, look, there they are. Which is weird, because they're supposed... These two are supposed to be, well... the wind. Sorry to drag you all the way out here. I have a feeling you'll miss this place when we see where we're going next, though. 'Tis a blessing to see thee so hale. You sure? I hope the desert creatures didn't give you too much trouble on the way here. Doubt they pose any sort of challenge to him. Wouldn't I say the same confidence about whatever fiend may be waiting for us out there. Even if the light that Reen sensed turns out to be nothing of consequence, the empty is hardly the most welcoming of places. Anything that could survive out there is not to be trifled with. Moreover, it should be reiterated that the light-blasted wasteland poses as severe threat as any foe we might face. Well, in any event, we are in agreement that this phenomenon doth warrant investigation. Though for lack of more precise means of navigation, we must needs rely on Reen's innate abilities to guide us. I have formed several hypotheses regarding the nature of the light, but speculation is a poor substitute for first-hand observation. There will be plenty of time for us to talk about it on the way. Is the sky slipper ready, Fankred? Ready to take us wherever we need to go, aye? And back again too, maybe, if we ask it nicely. No light have been expunged from Northrend. The ambient ether of the empty is still corrupted. Dangerously so, in fact. The flood of light devastated everything in its wake. The soil, the air, the water. All rendered incapable of supporting life. 'Tis due to this imbalance that the empty remaineth utterly uninhabitable, even a century thereafter. That's why we're taking every possible precaution. Between the epherometers and I've packed and Reen's unique abilities, we should be able to detect and measure any fluctuations in our alignments. According to the Crystarium scouts, a few days out there won't affect us to any noticeable degree. But any longer than that, and we risk becoming sin-eaters. Since we still don't know how our chocobos and an Umbra will fare in the empty, we opted for a more mechanical mode of transportation. This comes courtesy of the researchers at the Mean, who found it in the Crystal Tower and restored it to working order. It's quite safe, I promise. The person in charge said he'll have parts delivered from the Crystarium should anything break. He seemed quite eager to see what we bring back from the empty, even though I told him we're not hunting for treasure. I'll introduce you if we have a chance to stop by Mordsuka at some point. Anyway, I think that covers everything. When you're ready to leave, just say the word. Well then, shall we? To the empty. Do we get another line? Nope, we get thrown straight into a cutscene. With a name like the Empty, I wasn't expecting much in the way of pleasant scenery, but this is downright depressing. To look on the land swallowed by the flood with mine own eyes, 'tis a chilling sight indeed. Approximately 9/10 of this world are like this, a slate all but wiped clean. Were it not for the warriors of darkness and Minfilia. Reen, are you sure we're heading in the right direction? Yes, I am certain. There's no telling how far away it is, though. Nothing for it but to keep going, then. You two back there may well take a nap. I have a feeling we've got a good few moms ahead of us. I have to say, it is a touch larger than I was expecting. And is it sleeping? Well. The Empty. No, it's waking up. I don't like the sound of that. Is the light warden? I don't think so. Instead of being filled with light, it is light. The first Sin Eater. Long have I strived to unravel the mysteries surrounding the flood of light, to discover what set that terrible cataclysm in motion. Every thread led to the same conclusion, the same single point, or a single being. I have reason to believe that the entity we see before us is the first Sin Eater, the instigator of the flood, the very foe Minfilia vanquished a century ago. Ah. She gave everything she had, and won. But this abomination could undo her work. Aye, the possibility cannot be denied, though it is oft said that destruction and creation are but two sides of the same coin. Reen, knowest thou of what I speak? The power to shape reality, to bend the laws of nature, for what was once shattered may be forged anew. Smart girl. All that's well and good, but don't you think we should give it a name first? Eden. Utopia in Fae. A most auspicious title. Now that that's settled, perhaps we should find a spot to set up camp. I even brought a couple of tents, on the off chance, but pitching the damned things is something of a fine art. Does anyone fancy helping me? Urianger. Though frequent rest may allay the symptoms of prolonged exposure to the empty's ambient ether, it would be unwise to linger here over long. I never realized that putting tents up could be such a bother. Still, I'm glad that we got here in the end. Fankred should be back from scanning the area again soon. Once he's here, we can plan our next move. During the course of your investigation, you may uncover valuable artifacts. They can be exchanged for equipment by speaking with Google in Morsuk or Yal in Umor. Deploy the core. Reen waits anxiously for Fankred to return from surveying the vicinity. I wonder what's taking Fankred so long. I know what. There he is. There he is. Well, that was rather uneventful. Not that I'm complaining. Did you find anything? No, thankfully. There's naught but barren plains in every direction, apart from Eden, obviously. I tried approaching it, and the brute didn't even seem to notice me. Though at best not to tempt fate, so I withdrew. We should act now before it's fully awake. Meaning what exactly? Whenever I think about the flood of light, I get the feeling that rather than destroying everything in its path, what it actually did was stop the flow of ether. Of course, that meant all the plants, animals, and people here could no longer survive. They must have crumbled to dust in the years since. But the ether is still here, lying dormant. If Eden is the one that caused it, maybe it can get it flowing again. I don't know for certain, but I think I can use Eden to bring life back to the empty. Now hold on a moment. What makes you think that's even possible? And how do you expect to control that kind of power? Reen's aspirations may not be as preposterous as thou dost surmise. I believe Minfilia halted the flood of lights, advanced not by destroying Eden, but by silencing it. And in so doing, she hath gifted us an opportunity too precious to waste. Even now the flame of hope burns on. Aye, as Minfilia's successor, it standeth to reason that Reen doth possess the means to exert her will over Eden. But such a monumental task is not to be taken lightly. What sayest thou, Kinesi? I imagine it's easier said than done. Yes, you're probably right, but I have to try. Very well, Reen. You've made up your mind. So, how do we go about this? Whose turn is it, Fankred? I have an idea. I've been studying it carefully ever since we arrived, and it seems to me that the light is more concentrated at a certain point. I suppose you could call it the core. Giant Talos had a core too, like a beating heart. It controlled the flow of ether. If Eden's core is the same, perhaps we can use it to restore the etheric balance. Give it a nudge of umbrality, get it moving again. The theory is certainly sound. By employing Ethernet shards as beacons, mayhap we could trace the ethereal flow to Eden's core, and in so doing secure the means to teleport to the very heart of the beast. Thankfully, the Settlement Council has kindly furnished us with a plethora of apparatus by which to perform such feats. However, we must needs first have Reen study the entity's interior and chart us a suitable course. Once we have reached our destination, I shall fabricate a means by which you may directly communicate with Eden, and mayhap exert a measure of control over it. You couldn't really do that, Urianger? All credit is due to a dear friend, a gentle soul long since departed, who imparted to me a wealth of knowledge concerning etherology, Moonbreeder. Although I am certain she would be all too quick to chastise my methodology. Excuse me for interrupting this trip down memory lane, but I don't imagine that Eden will be all too happy about us rummaging around in it, for want of a better term. In all seriousness, no, though, I wouldn't be surprised if there is some sort of welcoming party arranged for intruders. Perhaps you would best lead the way, Knazy. It's true that she is the only one who can defeat a Night Warden, but I'd rather not rely on her any more than we have to. Yes, I haven't forgotten what happened when she absorbed too much light. But as I said, making promises you have no way of keeping is not a kindness. Now, I wish I could put down wardens myself, but the simple fact is I can't, and there's no point in pretending I can. That's why I'm asking Knazy. Perhaps I could... You already have a job to do, remember? The only reason this plan even has a chance of success is because of your involvement. We need you to concentrate on the task at hand and guide us to the core. Not only that, but you have to keep an eye on Eden itself. If we somehow manage to make it angry, get us out of there. Are you sure you want to go through with this? For lack of any better plans, this one I'll have to do. I won't let you down. Though we will remain here, Reen and I shall do... Oh, this is Oriandre. Though we will remain here, Reen and I shall do our utmost to guide thee along the ethereal stream. After thou hast breached the exterior, I shall remain in contact via these link pearls, courtesy of our commanders our comrades in the Crystarium. Being relics salvaged from the Crystal Tower, I fear they may be somewhat less reliable than those to which thou art accustomed. I am gonna go upstairs and check in on something. Because we are going for the Eden raids. Eden's Gate, Resurrection, now accessible. Oh. So, I'm gonna go BRB and see you on the other side of this, on the other side of the ad break, I guess. Oh, I forgot to unmute. Let's go to Charlian first, see if I can actually get the items. I can actually spend my tomestones. I'm actually going to move this up here. On this menu over to... Actually, the menu can go fully off screen, because that makes no sense to have on screen for this. No, let's kill Chitans. Here we are, waiting for Q to pop. Hmm. So there we go. Materials. Let me just go ahead and go with this. Go Crystarium gear. No, let's go Crypt Lurker again. There we go. Now I have the Now I have the space. Got myself a mug of coffee beside me. Looks like my party member is actually in the... Oh, he's a gunbreaker. While I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and update my adventurer plate. Edit portraits. Reflect current gear, please. Pose. Let's go with the... Okay. Queue's taking a while. It's a shame. Yeah, just standard E1 N synced. There we go. Background is going to be... There we go. Plate design change. Gridania, obviously. And you again. First time for me. Anyway, there's a lot going on for FanFest. I'm actually going to go ahead and quickly create a VC, so if they want to join, they can. Bum, 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 ba, ba. Where's my party anyway? What's the button for party view again? Oh yeah, oh. Taze and old Charlie, and of course. Yeah. Yeah, Scream's... Found our healer. Well, that last 5 minutes was a lie. And there we are. I'm gonna go in and quickly... copy and paste. Looks good. Ah, there we go. Game time. Let's rock. Be careful. Huge amounts of ether are rushing to the core. Wait, what's that? Keeper of Knowledge. Eden Prime. Step 1, hit it. Step 2, hit it more. Just burn it down. Dig it deeper just to throw it away. Burn it down, digging deeper just to throw it away. I do believe Bob is doing something. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Mmm. A yummy Von stack. Where did they go? Good to know their death barrier. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Space. And it did. Don't stop. Relic weapon farming, yay. Who's getting the loot? Commend. Solo. Holy shit, I get everything. Wow, I got it all. Though we anticipated some form of resistance, I did not foresee Eden generating a smaller replica of itself. To think that a mere fraction of its power could manifest such a powerful adversary is frightening indeed. It seems we'll have to wait for the ether within Eden to stabilize before we can all teleport to the core. Seems that Fankred's prediction about there being some sort of guardian was right. Thankfully, it was nothing that you couldn't handle. And I'm glad to say you haven't absorbed any light either. So far, so good. And the way is clear, the infinite shards could send us to the core and back whenever we need. So why don't we give them a try? Fankred. Wait, who is this? Oh, another player. Standing around and waiting is hardly my forte, though I dare say I'm more suited to this than whatever Ryanje is doing. Though this apparatus is now in place, a number of minute adjustments must needs be made before attempting to assert control over Eden. Once Ryanje has activated the device, it's my turn. My turn, you say? The time have come, Reen. My turn. Watch over me, Minfilia. Oh! Is this supposed to happen? Eden is offering considerable resistance. Not now. Not when I'm so close. Wait. Ryanje! I am unharmed. But what of Reen? No, you listen to me! Reen, be careful! Reen, be careful! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, it's airborne now. One brings shadow, one brings two-tone. The beast's fury have subsided. Well, I'm glad that's over, but for how long? One fell swoop. Reen appears to have recovered from her battle of wills with Eden. It worked. I'm in control now, I think. Are you really? Although I'm now linked to Eden, I still need to figure out how to give it commands. Pray tell, what caused it to convulse so violently? It must have been when Eden rose into the air. I'm still struggling to stop it from drifting too far from the camp. Even now, thou art... Reen, what's going on? What's going on? Above us, something's coming this way. An enemy. But how dost thou... could it be a sin-eater? Can't see him clearly, but no, that's impossible. What is it? They're inside too. Lots of them, trying to reach the core. Uninvited guests, eh? If I'd known they were coming, I would have tidied the place up. Japes are a poor substitute for a viable stratagem. In that case, I suggested you and I deal with the ones who are already inside. In case you can welcome our airborne adversary. Reen, find out if Eden has any defenses we can make use of. Preferably ones that don't recognize us as the enemy. Not sure about that, but I can use the ether currents to send you wherever you need to go. That's my girl. Alright, everyone, we've got work to do. Ether currents. From what I can tell, Eden is able to form simple structures by redirecting ether. So I'll try to give you something to stand on. Whenever you're ready, head for that portal over there. E2 end time already, I think. I'm going to have to tab across the Discord because I need to update the... Reen. Here we are, just waiting. Errors. I'm gonna step away from the audio. I'm gonna step away from my PC for just a moment while and I'm gonna go ahead and crank the volume on the on the mic side right now, so I can actually hear it while I'm in the other room. I'm a man, a man, a Manderville man, doing whatever a Manderville can for the peaks of Curfest of Hat. No. We are waiting for the cue to pop. Let's roll. Bum bum ba da ba bum bum ba bum. Antithesis manifest. Void Walker. The cursed light of this world is not yours to claim. Lock up. Four, 3, 2, 1. May shadow blot out the light. Please, we want that. We want a bit more balance in it. Didn't step far enough. Uh-oh. First time. That was nothing. Come on, give me the... And down he goes. Lol. And ads in a minute. Hey, look! Daisy, thank goodness you're unharmed. We came as soon as we took care of our unwanted guests. They were a stubborn bunch and quite unlike anything I've ever seen in the first. No, I won't let you. Damn the light! Damn you all! Who are you? What do you want? Why am I here? What is happening? Take off the helmet. She's alive, but there's something strange about her ether. She didn't seem too pleased with Reen taking control of Eden, which may be what caused her to appear out of the blue. Beyond that, it's anyone's guess. 'Tis plain she is not a sin eater, not even in part as Volfrey was. Yet this knowledge does little to assuage my fears, for she is none the less possessed of a power most terrible. On the other hand, if she's feeling cooperative, she may be able to tell us more about Eden. I'll keep an eye on her until she wakes up. There's no telling what will happen when she does, but I'll make it clear that we mean her no harm. Well, no further harm at the very least. Is that who I think it is? Obviously, it's not a good idea to bring her inside Eden. It's likely that reaching the core was her aim from the outset, so I'll take her to the camp. Is that who I... Now that things have settled down, I should go back inside and try strengthening my link to Eden. Maybe what we're dealing with is not light. It's not based on light, but rather dark. I have yet to discover the means by which the exterior was breached, though it would appear that the fiends that Thancred and I slew were of similar nature to those led by thine own adversary. Voidsent, in other words. Though I had my hands full trying to control Eden, I caught a glimpse of your battle. That power, I've never seen anything like it. What thou witnessed was the tearing of the very fabric of reality. The creation of a rift for which Voidsent may enter. But pray tell, Reen, didst thou make any other observations? I couldn't sense any light at all in that girl or her servants. I can't really explain how, but she reminded me of Emmett Selk. Though I think it unlikely she is an Asian, she may yet be thrall to Zodiac. Maybe we'll be able to find out more once she's woken up. In the meantime, I'll try to improve my control over Eden. It seems to be listening more than before, and instead of screaming at me like it was in the very beginning. And that's not all, I've made an exciting discovery. What's that discovery, Reen? Sort. Nor any drop to drink. Reen's nearly formed bond with Eden's core has led to a surprising discovery. I'm feeling a lot more confident in my ability to control Eden now. Of course, this is only the beginning. And we shall accompany thee wheresoever this path may lead. But, pray tell, what manner of discovery hast thou made? Oh, I understand how Eden's power works, and therefore the true nature of the flood of light. Yes, it affects the balance of all the ether in the empty, shifting it so far towards the umbra that it stopped flowing altogether. You mean astral? The power to tip the scales. And to tip them back again. And that's what Eden does. It controls the balance of ether over a wide area, forcing it from one alignment to another. Left alone, it still poses a threat, but if I can harness its power, I think I could use it to breathe life back into the empty. Trouble is, I haven't the foggiest idea of where to start. And if I go about this the wrong way, I'll do more harm than good. Thou needst not bear this burden alone, Reen, nor should thou. 'Tis no simple matter of awakening that which lies dormant. Thank you, Urianger. 100 words where 10 will do. All things in nature are inextricably linked. The elements maintain a fragile harmony, without which life cannot prosper. So, what should we do? A solution has begun to take shape in my mind, though it will require further discussion. For the time being, let us return to camp. 'Twould be remiss of us not to involve Thancred. Norvrent, the empty. I'm curious to know what connection that girl has to Eden. If only she had told us a bit more before she collapsed. Still sleeping soundly, I'm afraid. If I'd known she'd take so long to come around, I would have brought a good book or two to pass the time. My friends, I believe I've struck upon a method by which we may see this world restored. Urianger, before you go any further, allow me to make a potentially very long story simply shorter. The plan is to control Eden and realign the ether of the empty, right? In essence, yes. However, unleashing elemental energies haphazardly will not suffice. In addition, the empty is unfathomably vast. Were one only able to effect a change over one small region at a time, it would take many lifetimes to complete even a fraction of our task. Instead, our energies would be better spent revitalizing each element in order, that we might set in motion a more widespread transformation. One at a time. I hate to say this, but I don't think Eden will be able to draw out a single element without affecting the others. For that very reason, we shall select a location in which the ambient ether we wish to restore is at its most potent. Even in a dormant state, many certain elements will be more prevalent and therefore more easily manipulated. Then we rebalance the ether and return it to the land, whereupon it shall be borne on ethereal currents to the farthest reaches of the empty. But what's to prevent that element from breaking free of Eden's hole and causing a disaster of some sort? It must needs be contained. The question is, how? Kinesi, indulge me a moment if thou wouldst. Pray imagine a corporeal manifestation of each of the individual elements. What dost thou see in thy mind's eye? Surely not. Mayhap thou art afeard to utter this fateful word, for even to speak the name primal is to invite misfortune. Though invited we must, as the ether is drawn forth and realigned by Eden. We shall perform a summoning as Master Louisoix once did on the fields of Carteneau. As one who hath laid low countless primals, thy memories will shape the ether into a deiform entity, which must subsequently be dispersed in the traditional fashion. So defeated, in other words, but is that even possible? I have done it multiple times. I break my fast on primals. Lest thou forget, 'twill be no more than an approximation of a foe thou hast previously bested. I have every confidence in thine abilities, Kinesi. As do I, though it might help to have some idea of what you will be up against. Have you decided which element to tackle first? I propose water, the source of all life, as a good scholar of Faliac would agree. As for the location, an area to the west of Norvrent was once home to the world's deepest ocean. Alas, the flood of light reduced it to a yawning chasm. Water, yes. Yes, that seems like a good choice. I'll see if Eden can take us where we need to go. Oops. There we go. And now I can... Yes. Yes. Are you ready? And I shall prepare for the summoning. Thancred, wouldst thou keep watch over our enigmatic antagonist? She may have vital information to impart. In the event that she become agitated, thou mayest have need to restrain her. Someone's got to do it, I suppose. I'll be praying for your success while I wait here, twiddling my thumbs. Back to Eden. Still, I must say I don't envy you being caught up in yet another one of Urianger's madcap schemes. Still, come to think of it, the creature you must fight is born from your own memories and imagination. Why don't you think of something a bit tamer than the primals you fought in the past? Perhaps that's how it works. Anyway, best of luck. Time for the stuff of nightmares. Eden seems to be responding well to my instructions, so we should reach our destination in no time at all. Alright, this is the place. I'll see if I can draw out the water aspect of the ether. The rest is up to you, Kinesi. For the stuff of nightmares. Memories of Leviathan come flooding back. Uh-oh. Time for Kinesi's first Eden-induced nightmare. Time for the stuff of nightmares, am I right? Instant! It's time for a nightmare. Nightmare. Oh, slash. Nightmare time. Leviathan. Inheritor of the world. Leviathan. Leviathan. Let swallow this forsaken land. A freak wave. Tidal Raw. Viper, don't stand on tank. Nah, healers adjust. Adventurers, I'll use Eden's power. I live! My ring! Sheesh! This Leviathan really does like to knock you around. Tidal wave! Leviathan! Leviathan! Da 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 da. Leviathan, Leviathan. Ba da 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 da. Oh, I get it all. That was horrifying. A most emphatic victory, Knezi. Unfortunately, we cannot yet be certain if the ether is behaving as predicted. Didn't get the chance, dang it. That was incredible. Is that what a primal looks like? Somewhat. It seems to have been twisted by my own bad experiences with it. It's not quite the same then, but why is that? The Leviathan of the Source was summoned by the Sahagin, to whom he was no less than a god. Without their faith, the deiform entity that we brought into existence differed on a fundamental level, though it was no less formidable. The manifestation relied upon Knezi's experiences with Leviathan, and may have been influenced by recollections of other water-respected beings, leading to further discrepancies. Memories brought to life. I still can't tell if our plan actually worked. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Hello? How goes it? We just defeated Leviathan. If you finish slaying your primal or whatever it is, I suggest you get back here on the doubles. There's something you ought to see. That mysterious stranger woke up. What could that be? Evidently, our only recourse is to return to our base of operations forthwith. Nor any drop to drink. Bam bam. Thancred? Daisy, look! Water flows once more. Hey, a crystal. By the 12's good grace, 'tis a marvel to behold. I never thought that a whole lake could suddenly appear like this. And we're only just getting started. I only hope the burden is not too much for you, Knezi. Bring it on. $3,000 gil. Urianger, such a profound transformation, though the change appeareth to be limited into an area no more than a few malms in diameter. You know, when I first heard Urianger's plan, I didn't know what to expect. But then that enormous crystal appeared and water came gushing forth and, well... Super seismic. Reen and Urianger are considering the next step in the plan to reclaim the empty. I think this proves that water respecting the ether is no longer lying dormant. So which element should we realign next to Urianger? I propose Earth. Should we succeed in returning the soil's life-giving energy, the empty shall become capable of supporting the growth of flora. I imagine that, forests in the empty. But before we begin, I'd like to know how that girl is doing. Still sound asleep. She didn't so much as stir even when I took her helmet off. I thought it might be getting a bit stuffy in there, and I was curious to know what sort of person we're dealing with. She seems surprisingly normal, not at all like your usual void scent. I'd say she's around the same age as you, Reen, perhaps a little older. Said, well, whoever it is, we should let her rest while we concentrate on the task at hand. As much as I'd love to go, we've... It's uncooperative. And while I wait here wishing I had something to read, my thoughts will be with you as you fly off to face the next opponent. It must be a strange feeling to bring something into existence through your own willpower, only to slay it immediately after. I almost feel sorry for the poor things. All the same, I wish you luck. If all goes well, he won't be waiting for long. The sooner we get this over with, the sooner we can see the results. Anyway, I feel like we should take a short break. While I get my... I feel like we should take a little break while you can, after this one, while I get dinner ready. While I have dinner. Which I still need to prepare anyway. So I'm probably going to wrap up after this one. I would suggest this. There we go. I would suggest a certain region that lieth east of Northrend, which was once home to the great Mount Atlas. As for the Earth-aspected primal we wish to invoke, that would be what could be a more fitting choice than Titan. I don't think I've heard that one. What's it like? The landslides. The landslides! Seems like you had a rather traumatic experience. If our last battle is anything to go by, this one will be different from the Titan that Kinesi remembers, yes? Aye, 'twould be wise to consider the two as entirely separate beings. As such, thou must needs conceive new stratagems if thou art to triumph in the battle to come. Past experiences will avail thee naught, I fear. Alright, Kinesi, once you're ready, we'll be on our way. Took a while, but we finally arrived. Ready, Kinesi? Please, gods be merciful. Memories of Titan come tumbling back. E4 end time. Fast queue privileges. Bum 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 bum. One brings shadow, one brings light. Bum 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 ba-ba-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum ba-ba-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-ba-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-ba-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum. I'm gonna go ahead and do the ordering real quick. What was the address again? Maps. Okay. Okay, I got the ordering page up, so I can order after the raid. And okay, let's go to. I'm actually going to. Oh wait, I cannot use return in the empty. I cannot use return in Eden's Gate. When aboard Eden, you cannot use return. Uh-oh. We ready? O/. The landslides. My rage is eternal. I get fucking nightmares. Uh-oh. Healers adjust. Hmm. Come on, give me enough. Who gave him the car? Come on, give me the memes. My fall. I tanked it! Just kidding, it was in my iframes. Tasty. What can I say? You can't assume a stupidity. Bom boko boko bom boko boko bom boko boko bom boko boko boko. GG. Also, tasty phone. GG. Also tasty. Also tasty phone stacks. What? I get it all? I get it all. What? Well fought, Kinesi. Well fought indeed. That thou wert able to triumph over this avatar primordial rage is testament to thy puissance. Welcome back. He must be exhausted. For a creature made of rock, he was a lot more agile than I was expecting. I wonder, was the Titan of your world a tough opponent too? Yes, if I had put 1 foot wrong, I would have fallen to my doom. So it would have taken us a momentary lapse of concentration. I don't like the sound of that. But more importantly, you defeated another elemental being, which means we're a step closer to claiming the empty. I can't wait to see how much difference we've made this time. More savage aim, please. I wasn't there before. Whoa. Did we really do all of this? Aye, it would appear that balance has returned to the element of earth. And yet, the transformation have affected only the immediate vicinity, whereas lands beyond this lake doth remain unchanged. 'Tis passing strange indeed. Did we do something wrong? Though this falleth short of the outcome I had envisioned, 'tis plain our efforts were not in vain. Mayhap this localized phenomenon is the result of an intersection of ethereal currents. Therefore, it is reasonable to assume that similar locations in the entity have undergone comparable alterations. And the ether will spread out from the rest of these points to cover the rest of... Reen! 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 Oh, Thancred, be a good dad. Be a father figure for Reen, will you? The next piece of the puzzle. Oh, it gets you all of those and gives you option there. Reen appears to have been overcome by exhaustion. Are you alright? Perhaps asserting her will over Eden have taken its toll. One last quest. I'll probably continue this one tomorrow. It's nothing. That didn't look like nothing to me. You'd better lie down for a while. No, really, I'm fine. Anyway, we've still got work to do. Nay, Thancred have the right of it. 'Twould be unwise to exert thyself overmuch. I appreciate your concern, but I do wish you'd stop fussing. Reen, thou knowest not the strain thou dost place on thyself. Though the elements of water and earth have been restored, continued exposure to the empty, stagnant ether may yet sap thee of thy remaining strength. None should mention that I have been feeling a bit out of sorts ever since we got here. I should probably get away from the empty and rest for a while. Pray do so. Meanwhile, I shall remain here. The restoration of the first two elements have produced unexpected results, and I require time to analyze our findings. However, I must ask thee to refrain from discussing our work in the empty, even with our closest comrades. Why? I thought I'd welcome the news. And indeed they shall, once we have more to show for our efforts. Nevertheless, this mission is one of surpassing danger. I am loath to place our dearest friends at risk unless absolutely necessary. You have their best interests at heart, I'm sure, but to be perfectly honest, I'd prefer not to keep secrets from people that I trust with my life. I don't want to make a habit of this, but I'll do as you ask. It seems to me that Reen isn't the only one who would profit from a change of scenery. Our sleeping beauty would likely fare better in more hospitable surroundings. We'll need to have our associates from the Crystarium organize a safe place for her to stay. If you and Knazy could go on ahead and have a word with them in Mort Souk, we'll catch up with you once Urianger has finished whatever it is he needs to do. Perhaps thou too shouldst accompany her on the return journey. I dare say she would be glad of thy presence. No, not this time. She's come such a long way since we first met, and I worry that relying on me too much will only hold her back. I won't be staying in the First forever. The time will come for Reen and I to part ways, and for her to follow her own path. I know you understand this too, Urianger. I see you trying to pass on as much of your knowledge as possible while you still can. And to her credit, she's actually taking most of it in. Reen is possessed of a natural affinity for etherology, unlike some who shall remain unnamed. A natural affinity for staying awake during your lectures, more like. Though, come to think of it, she doesn't really take after me at all. However, like thee, she is predisposed to brooding in silence in lieu of voicing her concerns. Says the master of keeping his cards close to his chest. Anyway, Knazy, you'd better take the sky slipper with Reen. 'Tis true that she's been through a lot lately, but so have you. We'll need you ready for the challenges that lie ahead, so go on and get some rest. We shall await the news of thy safe arrival in Armorang. Nope, I cannot pull the... Okay, time to talk to Reen. It seemed to you like you were having quite a serious discussion. I hope I haven't given you any cause for concern. None at all. Well, if you say so, I probably shouldn't stay in the empty any longer than necessary, though. Do you want to take first shift piloting, or shall I? I'll handle it. Eh? Phew. I'm glad I had you here to keep me company. I have no idea how I would have passed the time otherwise. Now we're here. I need to find our contacts from the Crystarium. But before that, I was hoping I would have a word with you. Something's been on my mind. Mightn't be the best place for it, though. Those creatures over there might look a bit hungry. Thanks for announcing that an ad break is about to start. When I first spoke with Fagrid and Urianger about what I'd sensed in the empty, part of me wished we could have just left it alone. Guess I was scared of what we'd find. But now that we found Eden, I know I made the right choice. And I'd given into my fear. If I'd given into my fear, I probably would have spent the rest of my life wondering what might have been. From now on, whenever I hear a voice inside me telling me to run away, to hide, I won't listen. That's not who I am anymore. Even so, all the courage in the world isn't going to help me decide what we should do with that girl when she wakes up. Do you remember what she said right before she passed out? Why am I here? What is happening? What if she's being controlled or forced to act against her will? Whatever the case, it's clear she's not a monster. She's a person like you or me. Obviously, she knows something about Eden, and we need all the information we can get. But there's more than that. I just want to talk to her, to find out who she is and if there's anything we can do to help her. On the other hand, we mustn't forget that she's already attacked us once. What's to say she won't try it again when she wakes up? If she keeps from reclaiming the MT, it'll all be my fault. It's no good. I can't make up my mind. What do you think we should do, Kinazy? Even Emmett Selk had his reasons. We should at least hear her out. I see what you mean. Perhaps if we'd been able to come to an understanding, things wouldn't have ended the way they did. I hope she's nothing like Emmett Selk, but we won't know until we speak to her. Until then, I'll try to concentrate on the here and now. Speaking of which, I still need to see to Rianje's errands. The people we're on our way to meet lent us the Sky Slipper and most of the apparatus we've been using. And since we've been sworn to secrecy, I assume the same applies to them and their colleagues. Anyway, once that's over with, we can find a place to relax. I should honestly go ahead and load up DaVinci Resolve on my laptop after stream and split the VOD into Eden's Gate and whatever the heck this is. It's the Manderville finale and Eden's Gate. You're not a free part. You're not a. Okay, does it work? Doesn't seem like it. Reen? Now we're here, allow me to introduce you to two members of our inner circle, or whatever you would want to call it. That's Google, who's interested in trading any relics we find in the empty. Apparently, he mostly deals in exotic weapons and whatnot, but he's agreed to keep us supplied with whatever else we can't get from the Crystarium. Now, the ones we came to meet should be around here somewhere. Ah, Reed, what a relief it is to see you returned unharmed from your expedition. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. You were gone a bit longer than we expected. Kinazy, I'd like you to meet Luri. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. As representative of the Settlement Council, I am here to oversee the delivery of equipment deemed necessary to your mission. I will be on hand to provide any assistance you may require. Actually, there's something we'd like you to take care of. It's probably best not to talk about it in the middle of the market, though. I'll take it from here, Knazy. You should get some rest. But before you go, I'd like to thank you for everything you've done. We still have a long road ahead of us, but if we give it our all, there's nothing we can't handle. Now, that's a good time. That's a good point to end it. Oh wait, there's cutscenes. My voice is getting a little hoarse. I see. Though it is mere supposition, it would behoove us to proceed with caution. Moreover, I would refrain from discussing the matter with Reen and Knazy until we know more. Well, I appreciate you telling me, even if it's too soon to be sure. I'm the one watching over her, after all. She stirs. The Oracle of Darkness. I pray it is not true. Away with the fairy. Talk about Reen's first report. According to information regarding the work being carried out in the empty, is treated with utmost secrecy. To avoid falling into the wrong hands, we limit the keeping of records and such to the bare minimum. Having said that, it does become rather difficult to keep track of the supplies that we deliver, so I asked Reen to provide us with reports on your activities. The first such report will cover the time from your arrival in the empty to your battle with Titan. Truth be told, I cannot help feeling that this was rather a large burden to place on Reen. No doubt she has enough on her plate as it is. Luria, would you ask? Knazy, just the person I was hoping to see. Is that so? Before we go any further, allow me to please allow me to take receipt of the report. And I hope you do not think it impertinent of me to ask, but what business might you have with Knazy? Actually, I brought something to show you. Franklin and Riandre brought this back from Eden's core. A water crystal. If you look closely, you can see images of your battles in the empty. This unlocks Savage. Riandre seems to think they are Eden's memories, captured in crystal form. Would you like to see? This unlocks Savage. As you gaze into the crystal, visions of previous struggles race through your mind, with an intensity that far exceeds anything you have experienced. What's wrong? Different from how you remember it. How odd. What would cause Eden's memories to become so distorted? Well, we've been extracting and realigning enormous amounts of ether. Maybe that affected the crystal in some way? Even so, I expect we can find a use for this extraordinary artifact. I think I have an idea. Although it shows images of things that never actually happened, studying them may help us to prepare for the challenges we'll face in the future. Savage. Speaking of studying, Urianje's given me a few tomes to read through before our next expedition. I'd best get back to it, but I'll be seeing you again soon. That unlocks Savage. Yep. I knew it. POW 2, Ninja Rogue. That works, but I think this is where I'm going to call it for today. Now, let's find someone to raid out to now. Oh, wait, I have the perfect idea. Twitch.tv/. There we go. See y'all over there. Good night.